Good afternoon, dear students. I hope you are doing well by the grace of the Almighty, and I hope in this critical pandemic situation you are keeping safe and maintaining the rules of health and sanitation. So, at the very beginning of this class, I'd like to request you uh, to maintain the safety rules, the health rules, and the rules of sanitation because this is a very critical time all over the world and people are suffering for this coronavirus pandemic. Now, I request you to stay at home. Whenever it is very urgent, you can go outside, but if you go outside, you must wear a mask and you should wash your hands frequently with soap or hand wash, and you can also use hand sanitizers to um, sanitize your hands. So, this is a very important uh, message for you because this can keep you safe in this coronavirus pandemic. Now, this is my first class with you. Because of this pandemic situation, we did not have the opportunity to meet you in the classroom. That's why we are holding online classes, and these online classes are helping you to get some ideas about your syllabus and the main contents of the course. So the facilitator or the teacher of today's class is Rashed bin Monsur. I'm working as a lecturer in the Department of English in Rajshahi College. So that is in short uh, about me, and I would like to move forward with the next things for you. So we are going to see today's lesson. Today we are going to study Unit 10, that is Peace and Conflict, and we are going to study the lesson 5 of Unit 10. The lesson 5 is about the peace movement. So this Unit 10 is particularly very important for all of us because this deals with a very important issue of the present world. It is about peace and conflict. So there are two opposing words. Okay, peace is just opposite of the word conflict. Now, all over the world nowadays, different types of conflicts are arising. I hope you have already read these things in the previous lessons. Okay, you have read the causes of conflict, you have read the types of conflict. Okay, so the conflicts are arising in the modern time. There are so many kinds of conflicts all around us, and we don't actually want these conflicts. We want peace. Okay, in our heart or uh, in our wishes, we always look for peace. We don't want conflict. We don't want any kind of war or something that is destructive for us. And the lesson 5 concentrates on the peace movement. So peace movement is a kind of movement, a kind of uh, arrangement so that people can achieve peace through maintaining different kinds of organization rules. So to maintain peace or to bring about peace in this world, different organizations are formed all over the world, and these organizations work for bringing peace to the humankind. So we will talk about these kind of organizations in the lesson 5, that is the peace movement. So what is our learning objective? Now have a look at the learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to understand the central concepts of the topic. That means you will understand the central concepts of peace movement. Okay, and then you will learn various terms related to peace movement. So if you want to understand the peace movement properly, we have to look at different uh, critical terms, and these terms will help you understand the topic better. Then we will know the history of peace movement. Though it is not a big history or in detail, we will look at the brief history of peace movement in this chapter. And finally, you will enrich your vocabulary by learning new words and phrases. So in this lesson, there are some important words and phrases, some new words and phrases, and if you learn them, your vocabulary will be enriched. So let us begin our lesson proper. The peace movement. At the very first sentence of this passage, you will have an idea or a definition of what is meant by peace movement. Okay, so let us begin reading from the text. The text says, a peace movement is a social movement. So it is a social movement that seeks to achieve ideals such as ending of a particular war or all wars, minimize interhuman violence in a particular place or type of situation, including ban on guns, and is often linked to the goal of achieving world peace. So quite a big sentence. Now, how to deal with such kind of big complex sentences? You should try to understand the meaning part by part. Okay, so let us try to clarify the meaning of this big complex sentence. So a peace movement is a social movement. So peace movement arises from the society. Okay, it can arise from a society. That is why it is called a social movement that seeks to achieve. That means the main intention of this movement is to gain, achieve. You understand, achieve means to gain something, achieve ideals such as the ending of a particular war. So peace is related to war. Alright, war is just the opposite word of peace. So the main purpose of a peace movement is to end a particular war or all wars. Okay, where there is war, there can be no peace. So the main target of peace movement is to end a particular war or all wars. Then peace movement also has another purpose, like minimizing interhuman violence in a particular place or type of situation. So you have to understand this phrase, interhuman violence. Okay, violence, you understand, violence is a kind of word which means a very conflicting relationship between two groups. Okay, when one group tries to destroy the other group, then you can call it a kind of violence. And here we are talking about interhuman violence. Violence can be between two different classes of men, and this kind of violence which happens between two different classes of men is known as the interhuman violence. So peace movement also tries to end interhuman violence in a particular place or a particular situation, including ban of guns. So how can you uh, achieve success in a peace movement? You have to ban the guns. That means you have to uh, give up the uses of gun. Okay, by guns, many people kill the other people. So if you want to maintain peace, you have to ban the use of guns. Okay, here ban of guns actually means the stopping the uses of guns. Okay, with guns people can be very destructive. They can kill other people. They can uh, insert. They can bring terror in the minds of other people. So it is often linked to the goal of achieving world peace. All right. So the main purpose of peace movement is to bring about world peace. So world peace, you understand, it is a situation when all over the world we will find no conflict. We will find only peaceful situation. There will be no war. There will be no conflict of races, conflict between different countries, or conflict between different states. And if we can achieve that kind of situation, if we can ban the use of guns, if we can end the conflicts all over the world, if we can stop the wars, then all over the world we will be able to establish a kind of peaceful environment, and that is the target of peace movement. Now, how to achieve peace all over the world? How can you achieve peace? Is it easy? We don't think so, because in this modern world the violence and conflicting relationships are increasing day by day between different nations, different groups, and different races, different religions. So it is very difficult to achieve peace. But still, we have to try. We have to bring about peace in our society if we want to live happily. Now, in the next sentence, in the second sentence of this passage, there are some ways by which we can achieve our peace. So, means to achieve these ends include advocacy of pacifism, non-violent resistance, diplomacy, boycotts, demonstrations, peace camps, supporting anti-war political candidates and banning guns, creating open government, direct democracy, supporting people who expose war crimes or conspiracies to create wars, and making laws. So this sentence is even bigger and more complex. So let us try to make out the meaning part by part. Means to achieve these ends. Okay, means, that means ways. There are some ways to bring about peace. And what are the ways? The first one is advocacy of pacifism. Now, let us try to understand the word pacifism. Okay, it comes from the verb pacify. Alright, so to pacify means to make something very tranquil, to make something calm and quiet. Okay, pacify means to bring peace. So advocacy of pacifism, advocacy, that means we have to promote, we have to advocate. To advocate means to promote something. Okay, to bring something to front, to give importance of something. So advocacy of pacifism, that means we have to support pacifism. We have to support the processes to bring about peace. The second one is non-violent resistance. You must have heard the famous name of Mahatma Gandhi. So he introduced this kind of non-violent resistance. In Bangla we call it Asahojog Andolon. So we can resist our violence by non-violent ways. Okay, not with different kinds of arms. We can avoid violence to bring about peace. Then there is another important thing that is necessary to bring about peace is diplomacy. Okay, so diplomacy is the art of maintaining good relationships between nations. So if the diplomacy is very strong between the countries, then the possibility of conflict will go down and peace will come to us. So strong diplomatic relationships is very necessary to bring about peace in our world. Then boycotts. Okay, boycott, that means to reject something. Okay, to boycott is to avoid something. So what should we avoid? What should we reject? We should avoid anything that can create violence. We should reject anything that can create a kind of violence. So by avoiding or by boycotting the conflicting leaders or conflicting countries or conflicting situations, we can bring about peace. Then there are demonstrations. Okay, we have to bring out different kinds of processions. All right, different kinds of uh, seminars can be arranged, different kinds of uh, symposiums can be arranged against the violence of the world or against the conflicts or in support of peace. Then there are peace camps. Okay, peace camps also promote the causes of peace, also promote the understanding between the people so that they can bring about peace. Then supporting anti-war political candidates. So in the world, some people are uh, supporting the anti-war political candidates in different countries, especially in the powerful countries like the United States, like China or Russia. So in these countries, you will find two types of leaders. Some leaders are in favor of war, and some leaders are against the wars. So people should elect those leaders who are against war, okay, who are anti-war leaders, anti-war political candidates. So we should choose the anti-war political candidates so that they can work for peace. Then supporting people who expose war crimes or conspiracies to create wars. So there are some people in the world. You have heard the name of Julian Assange, okay, and WikiLeaks. So this kind of people or organizations, they expose different kinds of war crimes and conspiracies to create wars. Conspiracies, you understand? Conspiracies are plots, okay, ষড়যন্ত্র. So some people always make conspiracies to create wars, and we should avoid those kind of people. All right, and we can expose their conspiracies and making laws. This is the last one. This is the last way. We can create some laws so that we can stop violence, we can stop conflicts, and bring about peace in our society. Now, different organizations involved in peace movements may have some diverse goals, but one common goal is sustainability of peace. So, many organizations all over the world are working to bring about peace, and they have diverse goals. Diverse means various, their purposes are various, but there is one common goal. Okay, all the peace organizations are working for one common thing. Okay, maybe they are very different in attitude, they are very different in their ways to bring about peace, but their goal is similar. Only one common goal is there, and the major goal, the chief goal, that is the sustainability of peace. You have to understand the word sustainability. To sustain means to last longer. Okay, so we need peace, but we don't need a very transitory peace. We need peace that lasts for a long time. All right. So that is necessary. Now, peace movement is basically an all-encompassing anti-war movement. Okay, you have to understand this sentence very clearly if you want to understand the main purpose of peace movement. Okay, it is an all-encompassing. All-encompassing, that means all including. Okay, it includes all. About what? About anti-war movements. So peace movement is, in other words, it is called anti-war movement. Okay, peace movement means a kind of anti-war movement. So peace is against all kinds of war. That is the main theme of this sentence. Okay, all encompassing, that means it is all about, it is all about anti-war movement. So peace movement is basically an all-encompassing anti-war movement. It is primarily characterized by a belief that human beings should not wage war on each other or engage in violent conflicts over language, race, natural resources, religion, or ideology. So there are many causes of conflict. Conflicts can arise over language. Think about our uh, language movement of 1952. Okay, 52 ভাষা আন্দোলনের কথা বলছি. So this is a kind of uh, movement, a kind of conflict which was basically based on language. And then conflicts can also be based on race. Race means different kinds of uh, groups or different kinds of people. For example, the white people, the black people, the Africans, the Chinese people, the Asian people. So there are so many kinds of people all over the world, and these kinds are also known as races. Now, there are many conflicts all over the world because of these races, and you have heard the uh, recent movement that is known as Black Lives Matter. You have heard about it maybe. So it is a movement about race. It is a conflict about race. It is a conflict between the black people and the white people. You have heard the name of Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. These people went against the racial discrimination and tried to bring about peace against the racial conflicts. Okay, conflicts can also arise because of natural resources. So if your country is rich in natural resources, then other countries uh, may have a covetous look on your resources, and they can create different types of conflicts also. Conflicts can arise because of religion, and nowadays it is very dangerous because the uh, people all over the world take religion as a very sensitive issue, and because of this sensitive issue they can fight violently, and the religious conflicts are arising at an alarming rate all over the world. People are very aggressive in their uh, movement related to religion. And the last one is ideology. Okay, ideology is our culture, our tradition, our belief, our faith. So ideology is what we are, what things are our own. Okay, our own culture, own tradition, own customs and beliefs. These things together create ideology. And because of ideology, there can be different conflicts between the different ideologies. Now, in the next sentence, it is believed that military power is not the equivalent of justice. Okay, this is really important. Uh, Military power is not equivalent of justice. So you cannot always bring peace with machine guns. Okay, you cannot always bring peace through war, and military power cannot be an equivalent to justice. Justice can be done without military power. Justice can be done without the use of arms, without the bloodshed, without killing people, without war. So justice is a very important word, and we can bring about justice uh, without the use of military power. And justice is always better than the use of military powers. Now, the peace movement tends to oppose the proliferation of dangerous technologies and weapons of mass destruction, in particular nuclear weapons and biological warfare. So, proliferation, okay? Proliferation is actually expansion, all right, to scatter something all over the world, okay? Proliferation is actually the growth. So, uh, peace movements always oppose the proliferation or the expansion of dangerous technologies. So, in our present world, some countries use dangerous technologies to make different kinds of weapons, and some of the weapons are the weapons of mass destruction. Now, what is mass destruction? When the destruction is very, very big, right? Massive destruction. That means when you use nuclear weapons, the nuclear bombs, it can destroy the world in seconds. All right, and there are some powerful countries in the world with the nuclear power. They are very dangerous threat to the existence of mankind because they can destroy the mankind within seconds with their weapons of mass destruction. So, weapons of mass destruction are those weapons which can destroy the world within seconds, particularly nuclear weapons. Okay, nuclear weapons are very dangerous, and even more dangerous things are biological warfare. All right, so there are some biological weapons, and biological weapons can kill people in a large scale. So that is why these weapons, like nuclear weapons or biological weapons, they are known as the weapons of mass destruction. Moreover, many object to the export of weapons, including handheld machine guns and grenades, by leading economic nations to lesser developed nations. Now, this is business. Okay, you know, the most profitable business in the world is the business of weapons, business of arms. And the rich countries like United States, like Israel, like Russia, like China, they can actually sell their weapons. They usually sell their weapons to the poorer countries or less developed countries in a cheap rate, and they can earn like a lot of foreign currencies, a lot of foreign exchange by selling weapons to the other countries. And this is one of the most profitable businesses in the world, the business of guns, the business of weapons, the business of arms, like handheld machine guns, the machine guns that can be held in your hands, like grenades. Grenades are powerful bombs that can kill a lot of people. So, this business, that is the business of arms, is a very profitable business all over the world. And the rich nations, the leading economic nations, are selling their weapons to the lesser developing countries or lesser developed countries. And that is the main business of these countries. And you will be shocked to know that most of the foreign exchange in some countries like the US or Israel or uh, Russia, they earn most of their foreign currencies by selling their arms. That is the main source of their income. Right now, we are going to talk about the history of peace movement all over the world. Okay, so to bring about peace in the world, many organizations and many uh, parties have worked together to bring about peace in the world. And such uh, things are known as the peace movement. The first peace movement appeared in 1815 and 1816. So peace movement began at an early time in the 19th century, at the very first of the 19th century, that is 1815 and 1816. The first such movement in the United States was the New York Peace Society, founded in 1815 by theologian David Law Dodge and Massachusetts Peace Society. So, the peace movement started in the United States, and it started as early as in 1815, and the first peace movement was founded by the theologian David Law Dodge. Theologian, you understand, theologian is a person who studies the matters of religion. Alright, a very learned man about religion. He is a theologian. Theology is the study of religion. So, theologian means a person who studies religion. So, the first peace movement was the New York Peace Society. That was the name. The name was New York Peace Society, and it was founded by David Law Dodge in 1815. And there is another one. It started in 1815. That was the Massachusetts Peace Society. This is also based in the United States. It became an active organization, holding regular weekly meetings and producing literature which was spread as far as Gibraltar and Malta, describing the horrors of war and advocating pacifism on Christian grounds. Okay, so this man, David Law Dodge, was a religious Christian, practicing Christian, and he was a man who studied theology. So he used religion to bring about peace. Okay, if you listen to the voice of religion, if you maintain the rules of religion, you can make different kinds of advancements regarding the fields of peace, because all religion tries to bring about peace, but it is a very uh, farcical truth, that is, people use religion to create unrest, to create different kinds of conflict, but the main purpose of religion is to bring peace. Okay, but people don't think about that. They use religion to create violence and kill people, but that is not the main aim, main purpose of religion. So David Law Dodge and his New York Peace Society and Massachusetts Peace Society, they become very active organizations. Okay, they used to held they used to hold regular meetings and producing literature. So literature here, literature is not actually what we call in Bangla Sahitya. It's not that. Literature means a kind of pamphlets. Pamphlets, you understand? The leaflets, you understand, maybe? Some pieces of paper that we used to hand out to people with different types of information. So these things are called literature. Okay, so they used to publish literature, and this literature uh, was spread all over the world as far as Gibraltar and Malta. So these are very far off countries and very remote countries from the United States, but their activities reached every corner of the world. And in those literatures, they actually described the horrors of war. War is very horrible. Okay? War is not something that is good. War is dangerous. War is horrible. So they described the horrors of war to the people so that they avoid war, and advocating pacifism on Christian grounds. So he used Christian religion to make people understand the necessity of pacifism, that means the necessity of peace. The London Peace Society, also known as the Society for the Promotion of Permanent and Universal Peace, was formed in 1816 to promote permanent and universal peace by the philanthropist William Allen. So this is another historical organization regarding the peace movement, and it was known as the London Peace Society, and which is also known as the Society for the Promotion of Permanent and Universal Peace. Okay, promotion, that means to promote something, to give importance of something, to bring something to front. Okay, to give much importance of something. So they used importance on permanent and universal peace. Okay, if the peace is only for a small part of the world, that is not enough. Peace should be worldwide, peace should be universal, and not only that, peace should be permanent. Alright, peace only for a few moments or only for a few years is not enough. Peace should be permanent and universal. Peace should be open to all, and peace should be permanent. And it is actually started by a philanthropist whose name was William Allen. Now, philanthropist is a new word. Philanthropist, it comes from philos and anthropos. Alright, philos means love and anthropos means man. So a man who loves mankind is a philanthropist. Okay, so a philanthropist is a person who loves mankind. So William Allen, the philanthropist, started the London Peace Society in 1816. Now, on the next paragraph of this passage, in the 1840s, British women formed olive leaf circles. So this is another peace movement, and the name of the peace movement was olive leaf circles. So you understand the significance of olive leaf. Olive leaves are the symbols of peace. Okay, olive leaves are the symbols of peace, and that is why their organization was named Olive Leaf Circles. And these circles were actually groups of around 15 to 20 women to discuss and promote pacifist ideas. So they used to create groups of 15 to 20 women in different places of the world, and their purpose was to discuss and promote pacifist ideas. So their main intention was to spread the ideals of peace all over the world. The peace movement began to grow in influence by the mid-19th century. Alright, so in the mid-19th century, peace movement became very stronger. The London Peace Society, under the initiative of American consul to Birmingham, Elihu Burritt, and the Reverend Henry Richard, convened the first International Peace Congress in London in 1843. So during the middle of the 19th century, peace movement became very strong, and they used to be united uh, in a congress. Congress, you understand, a summit, a meeting of different organizations. So they held a meeting in London in 1843. and that was First International Peace Congress. The First International Peace Congress was held by Elihu Barrett and Reverend Henry Richard. So you have to understand, Reverend is a very respected person. Um, the Peace Congress that was held in 1843 was convened. Convened means it is directed or it is organized. So the main organizer, the convener, okay, you understand, convener. The convener was Elihu Barrett and Richard, Henry Richard. So the Congress decided on two aims. This summit, this meeting, this uh, new kind of united effort, okay, this Congress, this summit, it decided on two aims: the ideal of peaceable arbitration. So peaceable, you can also say peaceful arbitration. Arbitration is actually negotiation. Negotiation, you understand, to make a compromise between two groups, to negotiate, samjhota kora. All right. So to make peaceful arbitration. That means many problems can be solved without conflict if we can arrange a peaceable arbitration in the affairs of nation and the creation of an international institute to achieve that. So the main objective of the peace conference that was held in London in 1843, they tried to promote two ideas. One is the ideal of peaceable arbitration, and the other was to create an international organization to achieve that kind of goal. Now we are at the very last part of our text. This is the last paragraph, so try to concentrate on that. Afterwards, peace organizations were set up in many countries. So after the 19th century, peace organizations became available in many countries. The United Nations was founded with the primary objective to maintain peace and resolve interstate conflicts in the world. So in 1945, okay, the United Nations was founded. The United Nations was founded, and its primary objective, its primary purpose was to maintain peace, to bring about peace, to achieve peace, and to solve the problems uh, that arises problems that arise between different states. That means to resolve interstate conflicts. So the United Nations was formed to resolve the problems between different countries in a peaceful way. And then many treaties have been signed between many nations. Treaties, you understand, treaties means agreements or pacts. Alright, agreements, chukti. So many treaties have been signed between many nations regarding peace. So to maintain peace all over the world, many nations have signed many treaties. A noteworthy one of which is the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Okay, it is popularly known as NPT. NPT is actually Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So according to this agreement, according to this treaty, the different nations of the world will stop producing nuclear weapons. Okay, they will ban the use of nuclear weapons. But unfortunately, the powerful countries uh, and the countries that have the uh, nuclear power, they are not interested to sign the non-proliferation treaty. Okay, the country like United States, have not yet signed the non-proliferation treaty. But still, many countries of the world signed the nuclear non-proliferation treaty because everyone wants peace. We are all peace lovers. We want to live our life peacefully and likes the principles of non-violence. And we don't want any kind of violence in our life. We want to live our life peacefully and in a very calm and quiet way. All right, so that was all about the peace movement lesson. Uh, there are some questions after the lesson. I hope if you understand the main text of the lesson properly, that I have tried my best to explain uh, throughout this class. So I hope you understand and you will listen to this lecture and try to solve the problems that comes after the lesson. So with this hope, I would like to tell you once again, try to uh, maintain the rules of health and safety, try to keep social distance, try to wear masks, and try to fight against this coronavirus pandemic. So thank you all for paying attention to my lecture. Uh, this lecture was recorded lecture, you understand, but hopefully in the next class I will be delivering a live lecture from the college studio. So for some kind of technical problems I am on this recorded lecture, but I hope in the next lecture you will find me live from the uh, college studio. So thank you again. I hope you will keep safe and sound. Thank you very much.